friendly reminder that there are no minimum requirements that you need to meet to feel like your gender. If you feel like a girl, you're a girl. You don't have to wear makeup or dresses or shave or pass at all. What matters most is how you feel. Go get it, girlie.
It's amazing. You are 100% wrong. I mean, nothing you've said has been right.
Did you guys hear that? Did you hear what that young fella just said? He literally said nothing else matters except how you feel. If you feel like a woman, he said girl, we'll say woman. If you feel like a woman, then you're a woman. That's it. That's it. So according to him, this fella on the screen here who calls himself a lesbian and looks for dates on lesbian dating apps is a woman. Pay no attention to the fact that he looks like he's got an extra chromosome floating around in there somewhere. Still a woman. And if you say otherwise, well, you're probably a bigot.
He was a retard.
Now, I'm having a real hard time believing that people actually think like that first young fella we just heard, and a little part of me still thinks that we're all being trolled. He said it doesn't matter if you shave, wear makeup, whatever clothes you wear, none of it matters. If you wake up and feel like a girl, according to him, you're a girl. So, using that same logic, if I wake up tomorrow morning and feel like a f***ing beluga whale, does that make it true? Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We got a real quick Clown World update, so we're going to get right into it. Now, today, you're going to hear a bunch of ridiculous and bizarre takes from all sorts of different people on relevant cultural and political issues, starting with this fella. I'm sure at this point, most of you have heard about the controversy surrounding Jason Aldean's new country song, Try That in a Small Town. If you haven't seen the video, I highly recommend you go and checking it out. It's pretty good. Speaking of that, CMT, Country Music Television, actually pulled the video off the air. Well, what this fella says about that song is the general consensus amongst liberals and Democrats. Roll it.
Good evening. Thank you as always for your kindness and for your insights. Try That in a Small Town. That's the song that country music star Jason Aldean released a few months ago, and then last week shared the accompanying video. The response from Country Music Television removed the video from the air altogether, and I applaud their decision. It's offensive on so many levels. You know what Aldean's trying to do is draw a line between all the sinister things happening in cities and all the good people living in small towns. He plays upon racist tropes and stereotypes, even though he never uses the word race. Every time he shows an image of a small town, all the people are white. You know, he starts the song in the first 10 seconds by talking about a man being sucker punched on the street, an elderly woman being carjacked, and a liquor store being robbed. And his response, don't try that in a small town. We know how to take care of each other here. And you know, he alludes to gun ownership, except he does it in a sinister way by pointing to the trope that somehow the federal government is coming to take your guns away, which has never ever happened in our country's history and never will.
Ban assault weapons now. Ban them now.
And yet, Aldean is playing upon the same Trump base that believes that small towns embody the values of traditional America. Well, the fact is he's not wrong, except what he's embodying is whiteness. Because the fact is, for most of our history, small towns were places where only white people could live. So when Aldean glorifies small towns and the people who live there, he's really glorifying the fundamental elements that perpetuate whiteness. So, Mr. Aldean, do you even know the history that you based that song on in the first place?
Get a haircut, hippie.
Wow. Wow. There is so much to break down from what that fella just said, but I just want to touch on 2 points real quick. First of all, there is literally no mention of race in the song at all. At all. It doesn't mention it once. But these lefties keep calling it a racist song. I mean, the video features news clips from the Summer of Love. It's not like you put actors in there and made that stuff. It's real news clips. My second point is, anybody that says that the federal government doesn't want to infringe upon our Second Amendment rights, at this point, they're just lying. They're just lying. That guy is just lying. He's being dishonest. Anyway, next up. So this is one of those Stitch TikToks, and I believe this person is a doula, somebody who helps deliver babies, I think. And then a doctor is going to chime in. Wait till you hear this. Roll it.
They assist women in labor. And the things that they are doing are uniquely feminine.
So first off, as a doula, your job is to support the person giving birth. If all of the patients that you have are women, then it's totally fine for you to call them women. However, every patient who has a baby is not a woman. As an OBGYN, I care for many patients who are trans men or non-binary people who have babies. The point of inclusive language is not to misgender someone who is a woman or is a mother. It's to appropriately include, especially in educations on large platforms like TikTok, anyone who might need the information. So how dare you during Pride Month come on this app, which is very inclusive of LGBTQ plus communities, and say that nobody who gives birth can be a man or a non-binary person. Just because you don't care for these people or you don't want to care for these people does not mean that they don't exist, and you don't get to choose what they are called. They do. Do better.
You're not a doctor. You're a fucking idiot.
Now, in my opinion, that is the one institution that should never, ever, ever have anything to do with that whole diversity, equity, and inclusion movement is the medical institution. And don't get me wrong, I think that whole movement is complete garbage and should be totally done away with. But as you can see, it is being thrust upon all institutions in this country. Hence, the end is nigh. Anyway, next up, I don't know if you guys remember, about a month ago, I did a video featuring transgender U.S. Army Major Rachel Jones. Well, here is more proof that the U.S. military has gone fully woke. Here we have 3 U.S. Army personnel wearing their obedience masks on their faces, cutting a cake that says LGBT Pride Month celebration.
Meanwhile,
did you know that 90% of you will keep going past this video and not follow one of the only drag queens in America that happens to serve in the military? Yeah, you will. But let me show you some pictures of me recently. Maybe to give you encouragement to follow me. So we have me at Ocala Pride. That's me. This is also me at Ocala Pride. And this is me past Sunday. Or past Friday. Why did I today Sunday? This is me past Friday. Aren't I gorgeous?
No. No, man. No, man.
And the other day I had a photo shoot. Wham. I be doing it. So, if you want to come on this journey and follow one of America's only drag queens, I'm here for you.
What is your major malfunction, numbnuts? Didn't Mommy and Daddy show you enough attention?
All right, real quick before we go any further, I just want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen for your viewing pleasure, of course. Now, remember what that young fella said earlier in the video. If this guy having some kind of medical episode on the screen here feels like he is a girl, then he is a girl. It's not up for debate.
surely you can't be serious.
Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by none other than our great friend Coda 320. Coda 320, thank you so much, sir, for sponsoring yet another video. And thank you so much for sponsoring all the videos you've sponsored in the past. I truly, truly appreciate all the generosity, love, and support. I've said it before, I will say it again. You keep my faith in humanity. So once again, Coda 320, thank you, sir, for sponsoring today's video. If you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. Can we please get this off the screen?
What the f*** is wrong with you?
All right, next up. Interesting story. So today is actually the day that I learned there was such thing as a queer summer camp. I didn't know it existed. Did you guys know it existed? I didn't know it existed. The comment says, how do I become a counselor therefore next year? Roll the film, please.
Okay, so a big, if not the biggest question that we've been getting is how do you become a counselor at a queer summer camp? The easy answer is there's an application that goes online in like April and then they interview you and then you get hired. What I think is important to note is that I swear it was harder to get hired here than it was to get into grad school. Not only did we have to like build and design unique and original workshop content, I'm doing 3 on blackout poetry, flash fiction, and trans masculinity. Campers get here this afternoon, but I've been here for 3 days. We've had anti-racism and anti-bias training and mental health screenings, neurodiversity training, way more than I've ever done for public education. Because we take the health, safety, and growth of these kids very seriously. I'm surrounded by some of the most capable people I've ever met. We're here to support future queer leaders, and they need guidance that knows what they're doing. And will I be in drag for a significant portion of the week? Also, yes.
In your circle, I'm sure you got all kinds of gays and trans whatevers of all stripes, but not where I come from.
All right, guys, we are going to be wrapping it up on this one. And listen, I want to believe in my heart of hearts that this is a troll. This is some kind of bit. But I can't tell, in the crazy clown world that we're living in, this could be real. I don't know. I don't know. There's tears coming down this person's face. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Listen, if I chuckle at this, I apologize if it's real. I'm not... It says me and my daughter is pregnant by the same man. Clearly things are getting crazy out there, guys, so please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time, love you guys. Peace. Roll the film, please.
I'm pregnant, and my daughter, Shekinah Glory, is pregnant too. We're pregnant by the same man, Ezekiel, her boyfriend, the one I gave some tail to on his 18th birthday. I'm mad at Shekinah Glory. I can't stand her. Like, really, that's my daughter, but for real, my heart ain't there with her. For one, she up here getting pregnant by Ezekiel, knowing Ezekiel is no good. Ezekiel can't take care of himself. Ezekiel don't have a pot to piss in or a window to pour out of. At least I'm getting married to little lunatic. I'm so disappointed in you, Shekinah Glory. Get out my house.
You get wacky on me. What the are we talking about here?
And you ain't black.